Emmanuel Church. It is such a privilege to be hosting all of you here, and I'm just going to say this to you. You are never going to be the same again. We said that last time, and we thoroughly believe that you're never going to be the same again. And if you're here, then you've come here for that reason, to be transformed by the power of God. That's why you're here. There are no other people in Durban that are doing what you're doing here tonight. They're doing lots of other things, but we've chosen to be here to come and let the Holy Spirit transform us and make us more like Jesus.
Amen.
I want to just give a brief intro, and then Kevin's going to take over. What I'll say to you is this. This material that we are covering tonight, I stumbled upon this in about 2008, 2009. I've been a Christian most of my life, gone to church most of my life, tried desperately hard to be a professional Christian most of my life. And I was in a desperate, hopeless situation, wondering if I was even saved after all of that. And I stumbled upon this teaching that we're going to be going through for these couple of weeks, and it's called You've Already Got It.
Amen.
And all I can tell you is I started listening to it, and it irritated the hell out of me. Literally. I got mad, I got sad, and then I got happy. And I'm going to tell you, if you have not heard this kind of teaching before, it will irritate the hell out of you.
Brother.
It's going to sound too easy, too simple, and too amazing, and too radical. And so what I want to say to you tonight is, I literally listened to this every single day for 7 or 8 years. In my car, in the gym, when I was going to go to sleep, and it was just this constant bombardment of the truth of God's Word, and it has transformed my life. I'm not the same person I was, and I can never go back to where I was before. But I laid hold of these truths that we are going to cover in this series, and I made this my reality, and I was not prepared to negotiate with anything else. So I want to encourage you. There's going to be things that you're going to hear tonight that's going to challenge you to the core of your being. There are going to be truths that are going to be shared with you. They're going to challenge sometimes everything that you believed your whole life. I want you to humbly, in meekness, submit to the truth of God's Word and let the power of God come and transform you. Amen.
Amen.
You're going to sit, and some of you are going to go, but, if, what, when, all that. Just sit there and listen, and listen. And as Kevin's sharing, the anointing of God is here to bring freedom, liberty, healing, and wholeness. And that's what we're trusting God to do in all of us. Amen.
Amen.
We've decided not to do any testimonies tonight, just for the purpose that we honestly believe that this message here is so powerful and so transforming, it's actually all we want you to hear tonight. Amen?
Amen.
Kevin is shaking already, literally by raising his chair. Because I tell you, when you are actually getting up to teach what he's going to teach tonight, he's going to have to come up here and literally have to control himself to try and get across to you what he wants to say. Because I'm thinking about it and I'm already getting excited.
Yes.
I can see it. So can we just give Kevin a nice round of applause? Amen.
Okay. Thank you. Well, good evening, everybody.
Good Kev.
Like Stu says, we are really excited about this next series we're going to be doing here at Emmanuel. And it is literally going to be life transforming. And just for some of you that are sitting here, you might be in a crisis right now. You might be in a place where you're questioning God's character, His nature. You might be in relational issues, whatever the issue may be. I just want to say this up front. Jesus is the answer.
That's right. Come on.
He is always the answer.
Yes.
And what this teaching is really going to do is just going to reveal who Jesus is.
That's right.
Yes.
And so the cool thing is, as we unpack these very simple and profound basic truths of the gospel, at any point in time, you can just receive it for yourself.
That's it. That's right.
Are you with me? The same way that you got born again by hearing truth. Somebody must have shared truth with you, and at some point you chose to put your faith in what Jesus had done for you. How simple was that? That wasn't complicated. So, but what we're going to realize is that contained within this thing called the gospel, contained within this thing called your salvation, is this rich and glorious inheritance.
Amen.
That is already yours.
Come on.
Come on, how exciting is that? So, like what I said to you, what I want to do tonight is I'm going to start with like two parables, two examples to basically illustrate what this teaching ultimately represents. So, firstly I need one volunteer. It has to be male. Now, I know in the gospel there's neither male nor female people, but for the sake of this demonstration, I do need a male. For the sake of something, we'll see. And this particular male also has to have a unique characteristic. This unique male, or this male, has to have a beard.
Oh,
A real man.
A real beard.
No, real man.
Well, I would just think that if he's got a beard, he is one. But we're just saying. Okay. So we're going to have a volunteer. I don't want to pick on anybody. This is going to be awesome. Oh no, were you putting up your hand? Oh, for Bruno. It's okay. I was going to say that was interesting. Okay, you can just stand right there. Okay. So what I want to do is and I used this illustration to a lady once who was basically sent home to die by the doctors, who had stage 4 cancer, and her partner had actually come to my house for prayer, and I was trying to illustrate to them the reality that Jesus made reference to the subject of salvation. And I said to her that salvation is described as a gift. Paul describes the fact that we have received the free gift of righteousness and the abundance of grace so that we can reign in life. And so now if I'm to use this as a type or as an image of salvation, okay, now I want to show you, if this is a gift as it is, okay, salvation is a gift. This is a gift. I want to show you how easy it is to receive salvation. Are you all ready for this?
Yes.
It's a gift for you. Okay. Wow. Give him a round of applause. What you would have noticed is the sweat on his brow. Did you all see that? Did you all see how hard he had to work to receive that? Didn't you see it? We're going to do it in slow-mo for the sake of, maybe for the people watching on Facebook, but just watch now slowly in case there's a sleight of hand and you see him running furiously, trying hard to earn it, maybe doing push-ups, sit-ups, I don't know, spinning on his head. Let's just try this again in slow motion. Okay, I'm handing it to him now, the gift of salvation. Wow, that was impressive. So you just received it. Okay, so that's awesome. Now you hang on to this. Now, you can see you don't have to work very hard for that. Not so. Okay, now, what's interesting about salvation is it just looks like one thing, and often when Christianity is presented in churches and in certain pulpits, it's represented as this thing where you just get your ticket punched so that you can go to heaven one day, and that's the bundle. But actually, it's not quite like that, because within this gift called salvation is another gift. Isn't this awesome? Come on, you can put that down. It is yours, so you don't have to worry. Isn't it awesome? You didn't have to work for that. Did you strain when you had to receive it? It was easy, okay? Alright, now, here we go. This is contained within this gift called salvation. And maybe you want to open it and see what's in there. So you see, now this box here could represent healing. Are you with me? So contained within this thing of salvation is the free gift of healing. Are you with me?
That's right.
Oh my word. No way. Oh, come on. Okay. Wow. Oh no. Come on. God cannot leave this So like, not only are my sins forgiven, not only am I the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus, but He's provided freely for me this box, this gift called healing.
That's right.
Come on. Maybe you want to open that. Now sorry, before you open it. So this box could represent peace.
That's right.
It could represent joy. It could represent financial prosperity. It could represent a number of things. All of these things are being freely given to us, and that's what we're going to see. So maybe we're going to open that. Oh no, come on. This is just radical. How good is God? Do you see that what looks like such a simple thing called salvation is actually not just that. There's a whole lot more to this thing called salvation. And to you, young man, you see, God is going to take care. Hey, look at that. Come on. Here, oil.
Come on. Jesus.
Now, you might be wondering, this is not the oil that ran down Aaron's beard, but you might be wondering, I just thought of it, that was actually quite interesting. But you may be wondering, why beard oil for this son? Because God is interested in the details of our lives.
Come on.
See, it gives us infinitely more than we could ever ask or imagine.
That's right.
Salvation is infinitely more than we could ever imagine. But when you come to understand what it is and who God is and what He's blessed you with, it will transform your life. Like this is going to transform
That's
your
right.
life.
That's good.
Amen. Yes, come on. You see, now you will forever remember that illustration. When you think about what it is that God has done in terms of our salvation, it is infinitely greater and infinitely better than we could ever imagine. Because He's a good Father.
That's it.
And then I want to tell you a real story. Not that it wasn't real, it was very real. That beard oil is real. I want to tell you a real story about a card. Now, some of you may have heard this story, but today I actually brought the card with me to show you this particular card. Now, for those of you that might not be able to see, this is a F&B, R&B banking card. Okay? I, Kevin Nigel Peterson, have been in possession of this card for some time. Okay? But I want to tell you a story about this card. See, one day, I went on a business trip with a friend of mine. We went to Mozambique, but when we got to, what was it? When we got to the Ushaka airport, we went to the checkpoint, the security checkpoint, and he said to me, "Why don't you go to the business lounge?" So I said to him, "Ooh, you're alone." So he said, "Well, I've got a diners." So I said, "Wow, that's amazing." So he says, "Come, I'm sure I can get you in with my diners card." So we went up to the business lounge, so not business class, but some people are business class. We went up there, and as we got to the reception area of the business class lounge that he was intending to go into, he hauled out his diners card. We went up to the lady at the counter. He flashed the card at her, and she took the card, she swiped it, and she said, "Good morning, Mr. Ward. I'd like to obviously come in this morning, and I'd like to bring a guest." So she says, "Mr. Ward, unfortunately, that's going to be another 350 Rand. So I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I said, "Heck no, I can get like a 5-course meal for 350 Rand downstairs. You know, I like the couches, but hey, I'm sorry, but I'm not paying 350 Rand for a cappuccino and muffin. That's not happening. I don't care how comfortable it looks. I think I'm rather going to go sit down there with the plebs who I've always been sitting. Because I traveled for many, many years, for years and years and years, as a businessman, going backwards and forwards, Cape Town, Joburg, PE, East London, flying flights, numerous flights. And every time that I would go to the airport, I would always go and sit down on those hard metal chairs, or I'd go and recline in a slightly more comfortable chair at one of the restaurants, and I would pay for something to eat or drink. That was my modus operandi. But here I stand at this counter, being confronted by the thought of having to pay 350 Rand for a cup of coffee and a muffin, and I said, heck no, that ain't happening. So this lady says to me, this very sweet lady says, have you got any plastic? So I realized she was talking about cards, so I took my wallet out and I flashed it open like that to her, and she looked and she said, and she pulled this card out. And she said, oh, you got an RMB card. So I said, it looks like I do. She said, well, do you know that you can get into the slow lounge? So I said, seriously, this is what I said, because I like my jokes. I said, the slow lounge? And I didn't even know what it was. And she said, it's the lounge next door. And she says, I'll just tell you something, it's infinitely better than this lounge. I said, no way. She said, yes way. She said, it's awesome. So I turned to my mate like this and I said, hey dude, want to come to the slow lounge? But now let me tell you something. Whilst I sounded cocky and arrogant in that very moment, I actually wasn't sure that this would actually get me in there. I'd never been in there. At that moment, I needed faith.
That's right.
I needed faith to walk 15 steps to the next door lounge.
Amen.
And when I presented myself there, I was still in a place of faith. Because anything could have happened in that moment. Like my arrogance could have backfired so spectacularly on me. But there I stood, and I looked at the little sign at the counter and it said, please make sure you present your boarding pass with your card. So, of course, I had that ready. I was acting like a seasoned pro at that point. I handed the lady my card and my boarding pass. She checked it. She swiped and she said, good morning, Mr. Peterson. I said, good morning. She says to me, would you like to bring in a guest? I said, oh, that would be wonderful. I was waiting for the fee. She said, no, it's for free.
Come on.
So I looked at my mates and I said, bro.
Jesus!
So we proceeded to walk in to what I can only describe as paradise in an airport. There's hot and cold running everything.
It's amazing.
There is food,
Come
like you cannot actually believe the variety of foods that you can get there. There's hot and cold dishes. There's drinks of every shape,
right.
type, and description. Hot and cold. You can have a massage if you want. There are the most spectacularly gorgeous showers. There is nothing that you cannot do. There's meeting rooms, there's restrooms. You can sit off on a like little bed and just have a little nap if you're exhausted. There is that you can walk up into the fridges and take a bottle of champagne out and just go to your table and help yourself. You can go to the wine cellar and help yourself of anything. There are books that you can help yourself to. There's magazines, all the current available magazines. You can walk up, grab them, and they're yours. You can walk, there's a kiddies play area. There's everything that you can possibly want in a space like that. Okay? Doesn't that sound awesome? Now here's the kicker for me. Guess how long I had that card in my wallet at that time? 4 years. For 4 years, I had access to that lounge.
That's right.
But I was ignorant of it.
That's right.
And because of my ignorance, because I didn't know that this ticket, this card, qualified me to benefit from that feast
That's right.
For free.
That experience. But yet I was ignorant of it, and as a result, I never got to benefit from it.
That's right.
Isn't that a radical thing?
Yep.
Now what I'm going to show you is the fact that when it comes to the gospel and the things that God has freely made available to you, you've already got it.
That's right.
It's already credited to your account. And tonight, many of you are going to be awakened to this reality and you're going to swipe the card
That's right.
of peace. You're going to swipe the card called joy. You're going to swipe the card called healing. And those things are going to be credited to you. You're already taking it. Amen. Come on. How good is that? Now this might almost sound like a slightly negative note to start on, but the heading of this first session is called How Desperate Are You? You see, and the reason this is covered is because I can't get this part off here. The reason is because sometimes a mindset that you find prevalent in Christians today is the fact that they're crying out for God's provision. They're crying out for God's healing. They're crying out for things that God has already credited to them.
Yep.
And so sometimes what you see in the mindset of Christians is this desperation for God to provide something for them, but He's already free.
That's right.
Amen.
So you see, if Tommy was my father, and he is a kind, generous, benevolent man, and he had given me a credit card that had R1 million loaded in it, and he said, "Kev, I love you, my boy. I want to make sure that you don't have to worry for funds for the next year." He said, months, depending on your spending habits. You need to think big. And he said to me, I don't want you to worry about a cent. I don't want you to worry about a thing, especially when it comes to finances. Here is a credit card. It's got your name on it. The money is already in your account. Okay? That would be pretty cool. That's what kind, good, benevolent fathers do for their kids. Don't they? I mean, we're talking about Father God. I don't think He lacks for nothing. Okay, so, but here, my earthly father, he gives me this credit card. Now, what would you think of me if the very next day I came to him and I said, "Dad, he's going to give me some money." Okay, you would think one of two things generally. I've either got very expensive habits, okay? I'm actually irresponsible when it comes to spending, and I've blown the whole bundle, or I'm stupid. Would you not? Think about the logic of that. If I had this credit card and it was loaded with that kind of money, but the very next day I come to my dad and I say, "Dad, please can I have some more money?" And he'll go, but I just gave you a card with R1 million in it. And I said, "Oh, yeah, I know, but can I have some money?" And he said, "But I gave you the card." And I said, "Yes, I know, Dad, but can I have some money? Please, Dad." He said, "Did you spend it?" "No, but can I have some money?" You'd think I was a nutcase.
Yep.
Wouldn't you?
That's right.
You'd think I needed a checkup from the neck up. You would. But yet what we find prevalent in the church today is this mindset of being desperate.
Yep.
Of being desperate for God to do something for you. Now, if we're all brutally honest, at some point in our Christian walk, and for some of you, bless you, you may have even uttered those very words today or this morning. You may have. This is going to be good for all of us.
Yep.
So, if you just look at the word desperate, because what we sometimes hear people, even in our songs, we talk about how they are desperate for God. We actually make those declarations. And let me just say this. It makes no difference whether you sing unbelief or whether you speak it.
That's good.
There's no difference.
That's true.
Do you know the only difference is that when it's sung, normally everybody's singing along the same thing. Some of my close friends will tell you that sometimes when we sing some of the hymns, I can't sing that there's no one like you, Jesus.
That's right.
I can't sing that.
That's right.
Because when those lyrics come up and I put my hands up, I think, I am just like you.
That's right.
See, I can't utter those words. I'm made like Him. I'm made in His image and likeness.
Come
I
on.
have the same Spirit
That's
that,
right.
that raised Him from
That's
the dead
right.
living in me. I have His name.
That's right.
I have His very nature and DNA living inside of
That's
me.
right.
For goodness
That's
sake,
true.
He lives in me.
Come on.
And
Come
it's no
on.
longer I who live,
That's
but
right.
He who lives in me.
Amen.
As He is in this world. So
Amen.
that's why I can't
Jesus.
I love that song. Okay, so listen. Let me give you a dictionary definition of the word desperate. Desperate comes from the Latin word. You may not believe this, okay, but it means despair. Okay. You want to do this? If you want to check this out, I'm going to give you now some actual dictionary definitions of the word desperate. It means this. Many definitions, but it means these things. Reckless or violent because of despair, driven to take any risk, undertaken as a last resort, nearly hopeless, critical, grave, marked by or rising from or showing despair, despairing, i.e. the desperate look of hunger, as an example. In an unbearable situation because of need or anxiety. In other words, desperate for recognition. Extreme because of fear, danger, or suffering greatly. In other words, in a desperate need. And here are some synonyms for the word desperate, and synonyms for despair are hopelessness, desperation, despondency, listen to this, depression, discouragement, and dejection. And all of these nouns denote emotional stress marked by lowness of spirit or loss of hope. Wow. This is what we're implying. Now, if you sing the song, Lord, I'm desperate for you, but actually what you mean is that you're desperate to see more of God, more of what's already inside of you manifest in such a place of hopelessness that you actually need God to do something to break into your situation, that's unbelief.
That's right. Yeah. That's
There's
okay.
no other way to
That's
put
right.
it.
That's it.
Now this may challenge some of us, but it's true.
That's right.
The only reason for a Christian to be desperate is if that person doesn't understand what God has already done and what He's freely already provided for you. The Bible says that the Lord has passed in heavenly places.
Amen.
I encourage you, as an exercise, when you're reading through the epistles, especially where it makes reference to you, your identity, how God sees you, or how He's positioned you, how He's placed you within His kingdom, what you will find almost in every instance is that it's written in the past
That's right, Kev.
tense.
Yep, that's right.
And you're going to see this as we go through numerous scriptures during the course of this evening. You're going to see over and over and over again the past tense nature of what God has already done for you.
That's right.
So what does it mean if something is in the past tense? It's done. It's finished. Good.
Pelila.
It's
Pelila.
Pelila. Another way of putting it is it's an established fact.
That's it.
See, when we read the news, when you pick up the newspaper or you go online to any one of the online news platforms and you read the news, why is it called news? But generally, the content of what you find in the newspapers is past tense. They are reporting on something that's already happened. And the gospel is called the
Woohoo! Jesus.
the good news. The very, 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 almost too hard to be true, almost too difficult to comprehend and believe to be true good news. We need a full revelation of what Jesus has already done for us. Now, I want to qualify this. That doesn't mean, note, this doesn't mean that you don't face problems. If I had to ask any person in this room, who has never had a problem, who has never had a trial or a challenge, who has never faced adversity, who's never faced sickness trying to knock on their door, who's never faced financial issues, who's never faced people threatening them, who's never faced relational issues, I'll guarantee you now, if I ask for a show of hands, there would not be one hand raised. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yep.
Is there anybody who could literally raise their hand and say, Kevin, that's me, I've never faced any of that? Not one hand. That's what I expected. And yet the Bible tells us to count it pure joy
That's right.
when we face trials of many kinds. Pure joy. How is that even remotely possible? The only way it can be, we can count trials pure joy is if we already know what the outcome
That's right.
is.
That's
Victorious.
It can only be. How can you count it pure joy if you know you are about to take a serious body blow from which you will never recover? Just think about that.
it.
If Paul says we count it
That's
pure
right.
joy when we face trials of many.
Come on.
Pure joy. So, here's a way in which we can, to give you a practical way on which you can respond to when you're facing a trial or a challenge, but seen through the lens of the gospel and your understanding of knowing who you are and what God has already freely provided for you. Okay? So you can say things like this: Father, I thank you. So you pick a trial, pick a situation. Okay? Father, I thank you that you have already supplied
That's right.
this before I even had the need.
That's it. Amen.
I know it's there, so I'm drawing near.
That's right.
I'm drawing near to you. Thank you for revealing it to me. And I receive it now. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen.
You
Come
see,
on.
I'm not saying, which would be really stupid thinking, I'm not saying, hey, this problem doesn't exist. I'm just choosing to elevate God's word
That's
and
right.
God's truth above that circumstance
That's
or above that
That's
situation.
it.
I'm allowing my Father to father me rather than life and its circumstances to father me. Who would you rather be fathered by, life or by the author of it?
Oh, but awesome.
No-brainer, saints. It's a no-brainer. And you see, we have a choice. But you see, how can you allow God to father you in circumstances and situations which can be life-threatening, emotionally challenging? Pick any trial or tribulation you want to go through. How can we allow God to father us if we don't know what He's already freely provided?
That's right. Yeah, that's it, Kev.
It's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we have these mindsets that speak of God as the one who allows coffee movie cracker things to happen to you.
Yeah.
There is, I promise you,
Yeah.
you have no idea, saints. If you're sitting here for the first time tonight, that mindset is probably one of the most dominant
That's right.
philosophies that are in the church today.
That's right.
Many of you can attest to that. You know that for a fact. But it is probably one of the number one reasons why Christians struggle, why Christians don't lead victorious lives, is because they believe that God is sovereignly in control of everything and nothing is happening unless He sovereignly wills it to happen or unless He sovereignly allows things to happen. And by allow things to happen, what people imply chooses not to.
Yep, that's Yeah. right. Yeah.
Hashtag nonsense.
That's right. Amen. You get that? See, because by the term allow, if I say I allow my child to do, then that, and for me as an able-bodied father who can swim, who could easily rescue him, if I allow my child to drown while in full view of me, then that means that I could have done something about it, but I chose not to. Now, you would want me locked up if you
It's
heard
pure
that I've done
evil.
that.
Pure evil.
It is nothing other than pure, unadulterated
Yeah.
evil.
Yeah.
And God is not that.
That's right.
He is not like that. Because God is perfectly
That's right.
represented through His Son, Jesus
That's
Christ.
right, Kev.
And Jesus never
Very
treated nobody.
That's right. Amen.
To people who were caught in abject sin, who according to the law and the traditions of the day, they should have been punished by death, by through stoning. Jesus' response to them was, I do not condemn
That's
you.
right.
Where are those who condemn you?
Jesus.
I certainly don't condemn you. That's how Jesus dealt with people
Yep,
who were caught in
that's
sin.
it.
People who were caught in courts, people who had succumbed to sickness or disease. How did Jesus deal with them? He healed them. Every single one, no exception. Because Jesus was revealing to us the Father. Jesus was revealing to us this kingdom that He had come to establish. God's kingdom on earth. And this is what my kingdom looks like. This is how it looks. Where there's complete forgiveness of sin, there's no longer a remembrance of sin, there's anything that resembles, sin in progress, anything that is a result of sin, I've dealt with
That's
it.
right.
That's why
That's it,
Jesus
Kev.
had to heal every single sick person, because
Yeah.
He dealt with sin completely.
Yes.
He completely dealt with sin at the cross. And
That's
the only
it, Kev.
reason there was sickness
Come on.
on the planet was because sin entered the world. And so when Jesus dealt with sin completely, He dealt with the outcome of it and the result of it, which was sickness and disease.
Amen. Jesus. Come on.
Come on, indeed. I always wanted to sing "Come on, Arlene," but that would be. That was very tragic. Can someone pray for me? I don't even like that song. I don't even like that song. Maybe there's an Arlene here. You never know. Is anybody by the name of Arlene here? Now you see, that's interesting. I will go for it. I'm going to be bold.
You're
There's an
right.
Arlene
That's
here.
it. Why not?
Yeah, maybe God wants to minister to you. Yeah, I promise you. I'll be bold. I'm not worried about embarrassed.
That's right.
Ah,
Come on.
I was crucified with Christ.
That's it.
It's no longer you that lives.
That's right. Amen, friends. You preach it, God. You preach it.
Sure, so good.
So this whole thing. Yeah, this never used to happen to me. I promise you. I never used to. Martin, you here? Hey, sorry, bro. I didn't. Oh, don't worry. I'll tell you later. Love you, bro. Such an amazing man of God.
Amen.
Such a brother. Awesome. What was I saying now?
You never-
Yes, that this never used to happen to me before. I was a very serious preacher. I promise you. Like right now, I'm experiencing joy, and like I'm not even embarrassed by it.
That's right.
Oh, Lord.
I'm not.
That's good, kid.
I used
Come
to. Nick, my brother, he'll tell you, I was a very super serious kind of guy.
Your gift of humor is firing tonight.
But you know, the reality is that joy is one of the essential parts of the
right.
kingdom. And yet for many, many years, I had none of it.
That's right.
I'm embarrassed to say, I had none of it. I would preach in meetings that see people healed, but there was very little joy and very little peace. What's up with that? And the Word of God says that the kingdom of God is not about what we eat and drink, but it's about righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Ghost. Righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Ghost.
Amen. That's it.
And you know why? You know why I believe that I was seeing people healed? I was seeing people raised from the dead? It's purely because I understood authority.
That's right.
Yes.
But I didn't know how forgiven I was.
That's right.
I actually
Come
didn't
on.
know how much God loved me.
That's right.
See, I had one box. There was one box that I understood was authority, but I didn't understand this box,
Forgiveness.
forgiveness. That Jesus' blood had completely forgiven me.
Yeah.
Completely forgiven me. That God wasn't counting or imputing my sins against me.
Amen.
When I came to know this, I started to experience way more peace and way more joy than I've ever experienced.
That's right.
Amen.
More experience than more joy than multi-million rand contracts
That's right.
have ever given me.
Amen. That's right. Come
I'm telling you.
That's right.
This thing, righteousness, you're the righteousness of God in
That's
Christ
right.
Jesus. That God has made you completely brand spanking new.
on. Amen. Jesus.
That you are eternally forgiven. That He's never ever going to count one thing you do against you.
Come on.
Not one thing.
That's it, Kev.
Amen.
Even if you've come here tonight, just
Jesus.
having watched a porn flick. When you were watching that movie, God saw you as the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus.
Amen.
That's grace.
Jesus.
Come on. It's time to get in the box. You're going to think outside the box, but it's time to get in the box. Just that truth alone, knowing how God has forgiven you, how much He loves you, that He will never again even remember a thing you do
That's right.
that is wrong.
That's the
That's
gospel.
one thing, ever.
That's it, Kev.
Never even remember them.
Jesus.
So if He does not even remember your sins, think about the saints. How can He possibly even count them against
That's
you?
right. That's the gospel.
That is so freeing. That is so freeing. That's why Paul could write, there's now no more condemnation
That's right.
for those who are
That's
in
it.
Christ Jesus. There's no more condemnation for you. Do we believe that?
Yes.
That will bring you more peace and more joy than any other thing, any other material thing on this planet
That's right.
will ever give you.
Amen. Joy is a serious business of the kingdom.
Oh, that's beautiful. Did you all hear that? That is so good. It's so good. So we sometimes cry out, like we sing things and cry out, say, Lord, I'm hungry for you. Now look, I know Jesus said, eat my body. Oh, sorry, some of you should get the humor. Okay, that's alright. So, if you're expressing desire, that's fine. But you see, you've already received the fullness of the Godhead.
Amen.
You can't actually get any more of Him
That's right.
than you currently have.
Yes.
The Bible says that the fullness of the Godhead dwelt in Christ Jesus in bodily form.
That's right.
And then it says that you have been filled with the fullness of Him.
That's right.
The fullness of Him. So you cannot get any more than the fullness. There's no fullness plus one.
Oh, Jesus.
It's the fullness. You receive the fullness of the Godhead.
Jesus.
Are you with me? So when you're crying out for more of Him, if it's because you're wanting more of God in you, you can't. It's impossible. Do you see that? But if you're hungry for more of Him, who is already in you, the fullness of Him, if you're hungry for more of Him to be made manifest in you, that's a different thing. I'm not satisfied. You see, who's satisfied with the manner, the nature of how you manifest Christ? Who's satisfied with that now? Not one of you, exactly. But that doesn't mean you haven't received the
That's
fullness of
right.
Him.
Come on. Come on.
So if I'm saying I'm hungry for more of you, Lord, and it's with that mindset, that's perfectly fine. You're speaking and professing from a place of belief
That's right.
and the truth of the gospel.
Come on. That's it, Kev.
In John 6, Jesus says this. He says, and Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that comes to me shall never hunger.
Amen.
And
Yeah.
he that believes on me shall never thirst.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
Never hunger, never thirst. And yet so often what you hear Christians declaring with their lips is that they're hungry for him and they're thirsty for him. Do you get it? That cannot actually be the declaration from our lips.
No.
Cannot possibly be.
Nope.
Now if you don't know him,
Sure.
sing along. Are you with me? You're getting this. You're looking a little serious.
No,
Maybe I
it's
can
good.
Crack a few more jokes. And then Jesus goes on to say, but whoever drinks of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water spring up
Amen.
unto ever. Received a wellspring of everlasting life that has no end.
That's
It is
right.
constantly flowing unto eternity.
That's right.
A wellspring of everlasting
Yeah.
life. Who's ever
Yeah.
seen a geyser?
Yeah.
Not an old guy, I often have to say that. But like a natural, like in a spring, but a natural geyser that just bursts out of the ground and just catapults water hundreds of meters into the air. Who's ever seen that?
Good.
Okay, that's what we have.
That's right.
Which is infinitely greater than that.
There was one on the Gainey Road today.
Are you kidding me? Really? Oh my word. Some Gainey Road had one.
On the way home.
But that is what we have received. We've
That's right.
received this wellspring of everlasting life flowing up unto eternity. I know, that's enough to just go, OMG. But do we believe it, saints?
Yes.
Do we believe it?
Yep.
You see, if on not last Sunday, the Sunday before last, I preached on the subject of the types and shadows of the bread that the priesthood used to eat in the temple, and how just one little tiny morsel, the size of a seed, was what each one of the priests would eat. And that little piece of bread, that little morsel, that tiny little morsel, would completely satiate them. They would have no need for food. They would be completely satisfied on the basis of eating something the size of a tiny seed.
Yeah.
Old covenant,
That's
faith
right.
and glory. Not the covenant that we live
That's
in.
right.
Amen.
But today, we get to eat of this bread. We get to eat of this bread, the body of Christ, which reproduces his life, everlasting life, the life as God knows it, Zoe life.
Amen.
Isn't that radical? But you see, it's not just something that actually we pick out and we eat. It's something that
That's right.
dwells in us.
It's a heavenly bun in the oven.
Yeah. As Sue said, it's a heavenly bun in the oven. I like that. That is what we've
That's
received.
right.
We've received Him. We've received Christ, who is the author of life.
That's it. Come on.
Praise God. Okay, so guys, what we're going to do, we're going to have a short break, and then when we get back, we're going to